This week in 40K.
Good morning! Welcome to This Week in 40K, the show about competitive 40K that tells you everything you need to know in the past week. He's Billy, and I'm Colin, and I desperately need a haircut. How you doing, Billy?
I was actually really impressed by your hair as this show started up. So that's how I'm doing. I'm doing well. I'm on my second cup of coffee this morning, which means I was prepared and did all my things. Life is progressing well. Yourself?
Okay. Well, we're not going to talk about life.
Fair.
This is an upbeat show. So instead, let's talk about some 40K. We don't have a particularly busy show, right? We don't have some big, giant top story that's going to take us an hour to talk about. So Billy and I thought we would come to you guys and talk a little bit about Space Marines to start the show.
Sure.
I'm excited.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
I think that there is a lot of very different ways to play Marines in that book.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Gladius is still possible. It's still just as competitive as it was before, even with Oath changing. And I think that, Ironstorm and Firestorm and Vanguard, Ironstorm's not the right name. But anyways.
And Salamander's Vanguard.
Yeah, exactly. So I think those three are all extremely good with Gladius. So I think there's four really good options to be playing Marines. And I don't think that anyone, Art of War, Tabletop Titans, anybody actually knows which one the best one is at this point.
No.
So, don't listen to people if they say they know, because we don't have enough data.
What minimal data we have actually suggests that the Black Templar are the best Marines, but that's in the past.
Okay. So I have been a hobo the past while here. I'm between jobs. Things are rough. I'm not getting a particularly large amount of productivity out of myself. And so I'm looking at Marines. I'm playing some games. I'm excited. I'm enjoying myself. And so I've decided to go to an RTT on Saturday. And I've got some painting to do to be ready for that. And I'm going to share that in just a moment. Billy, where are you at with your Marine interest before we show them our project for the week?
Very similar spot. I have an RTT this weekend that I'm running. If you're in the Bay Area and you want to come, we still have spots. Message me in any of the places you can message me. But I have finally settled on a Black Templar list that I'm actually quite excited about, and went through and put it all, all the pieces that I had together, have all the pieces, realized not a single one of them was completely painted. Many of them, as of talking to Colin yesterday, were still in boxes. That part of it has been remedied. The painting is in progress, which is spoilers for where we're coming. But really excited. I have like 70 Marine bodies to paint between now and Saturday. There are no painting requirements at my event, though. Just come and have fun.
Okay. And are you playing a Vanguard list with your Black Templars?
No, I'm playing actual Black Templar. So just spoiler for the future, Black Templar are actually the highest percentage win rate of anything over the past weekend, up around 60%. And there are pieces there that come together that grab some of the best parts of what Chaos Space Marines are doing, but shove it onto Loyalist Marine data sheets. And I actually have a list that I'm quite excited about. We can talk about that in detail, but let's save it for next week when we talk about my triumphant 2-1, because I always go 2-1 at every RTT.
Here's the thing that I thought was crazy. So last night I'm like, I should go to an RTT this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And I messaged some friends, and I found a friend who's running a tournament about an hour and a half away. And I'm like, oh, I love this friend, and that'd be really fun. Oh, they've got 16 people signed up in a waiting list of 3 people. Okay, well, that's not going to work out fine. Additional research over the course of the next 30 minutes on Veils. Sure. The 4 RTTs that are within an hour and a half of me by car on Saturday. 4
Nice.
RTTs. Between the 4 of them, there's about 50 people signed up. This is crazy. before COVID, 2019, I didn't have literally maybe one RTT a weekend, but even then, there were weekends where there was nothing. Now it's just insane. 4 RTTs, come on, in Western Washington, that's pretty nuts.
Yeah. So, hopping in the Wayback Machine, like the Nova Open got created because there were no tournaments that existed in like the center of the Eastern Seaboard with any regularity. And we were like, we want to play at tournaments because tournaments are fun. And nowadays you can, to Colin's point, you can just, hop on CP or go to your local 40K groups and just try and find something. And it is way more likely than not that every single Saturday and most Sundays, most places, at least in the US, probably in most parts of Europe, you can find an RTT to play in. Tournament 40K is just a part of the hobby now, as opposed to this strange outlier that only some weird people do.
Yeah, it's really grown. So, okay, so let's talk about our projects. Yes. So I, like Billy, so I'm not allowed, my own rule, I'm not allowed to spend money on 40K right now. I was part of 2 tech layoffs this year, very irresponsible to spend money on 40K. So I've been bartering. I've been trading 40K for 40K, and I now have everything together in the what I'm calling the Ultramanders list that I'm going to play at the RTT. I also call it De Fuego de los Calgar, which I now have said wrong. I have it correct in my anyways. So I got all the things together, and I'm like, hey, this is great. I own everything in the list. Here, I'll put it up right now. If you're on the podcast, sorry, guys, you don't get to see this.
Come to the YouTubes. Like, subscribe, join.
Yeah, one thing we never talk about is that we are a free show. Mm-hmm. All of the shows on our network are free. And the way that people support us so we can continue to do it is to subscribe. And you can do it on YouTube or you can do it on Discord. You get the same thing either way. $10 a month. All of our shows are supported. If you want part of a fantastic Discord, you should come and join us. There are lots of Discords for 40K. There are many that you would enjoy. There are many that are fun. Ours is probably, I would say ours is the collection of the best humans. Mm-hmm. That's what I think. That's our vibe. That's what we got. Speaking of good humans, there is a pig in the camera for Billy right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on. We're going. Oh, we got problems here.
Okay.
Oh, we got trouble.
Right here in River City.
Right here on the podcast.
With a capital T that rhymes with P, that stands for pool, that stands for pool. Music Man. Great old man culture moment. Music Man is a delightful musical. All you youngs go find it. Oh my God, Infinity exists.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
A girl who trades on all that purity merely wants to trade my independence for her security. Sorry, that's the only affirmative she will find. Returns in marching down the aisle. Okay. I can sing most of the Music Man. I don't think that's a skill that's particularly useful, but I can. All right. This is the army that I have collected together from my garage and collection to play that is clearly ready to go to an RTT with a paint requirement this weekend. There actually isn't a paint requirement, but it does say you don't get the Battle Forged points.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so the idea of trying to win the RTT down 10 points each round is amusing to me, but I suspect that round 2-ish, I'll lose by 2 points after the 10, and I'll be furious with myself. So we're not going to go that route, no matter how funny it is. So this is what I have. On the upper left, you can see there's 2 Ballistus Dreadnoughts. They are assembled, and they are zenithal, which is the first thing that happens. Next to them is a repulsor that is not yet fully assembled.
Okay.
You can see there's 2 Dark Angels and Pulsars in here. I could leave them painted as Dark Angels, but I will make them. I will make them match my army. Upper right is a Land Raider that I'm playing as a Redeemer and has not even remotely the correct weaponry on it, so I'm going to have to fix that. Then infantry-wise, there's 2x5 of the Fire Guys Exterminus. I think.
Infernus.
Infernus. That makes more sense. And then there's 6 heavy eradicators. There's 12 aggressors. There's Calgar and his buddies. So there's some infantry in here. So this is the state as of right now. The box is right there. This is what's happening. I am going to paint this to tabletop tournament ready by Saturday. That is what I'm going to do. And I might fail, and I'm prepared for that. But I'm intending to succeed, as I often am. And so I will. I'm going to do this week, and then next Tuesday I'm going to update you guys and show you pictures of where we ended up. It will not be gorgeous, but the point is to demonstrate that if you want to change what you're taking to a tournament, it doesn't have to be hard.
No.
It can be if you're a hobbyist and you care how your army works. That's all fine, but it doesn't have to be hard. Okay.
Yeah.
So last night Billy sends me a picture, and it looks like this.
This is my desk.
It's true.
That
Talk
was my
about
iron. Oh God. All right, I need to expand this up because I actually can't quite see what I'm doing here.
Well, in
on
the
the
middle,
left,
you got your
you
two
have,
bullshit dreadnoughts.
right. Well, no, let's just go from left to right. So on the left, you have Grimaldus and his buddies that were the assembled pieces, and the Sword Bros and Helbrecht, the Wolfguard Terminators, who are being Black Templar Terminators because they're the coolest of the old Terminators, and I would argue still the coolest Terminators that can hold a hammer. Then you have the 2 Ballistus Dreadnoughts that are assembled and unpainted, and a whole bunch of Primaris Crusaders. 2 boxes of the new Assault Intercessors, who are actually going to be cosplaying as Vanguard vets because Black Templars can actually do some very interesting things with Vanguard vets. The Chaplain with the shield, which is nice because there's, to my knowledge, never been a Chaplain with a shield before. And then more Sword Bros and Primaris Crusaders. So like a third of them are base coded, 25% were in boxes, and whatever the remaining percentage were like assembled and in some level of technical painted on the bases. So that was yesterday morning. This morning, you see all of the things that were gray plastic are now base coated with the technical paint on them, other than one dude who I ran out of paint for last night from my airbrush. So that's getting fixed. These guys will get one more coat put on them just to cover up all the spots that got missed. And I have about 70 Marines to go through. My approach is not going to be completely technically it's tabletop ready because what those rules are, but they will be fully based. And I do some fun sort of blending on a shoulder pad and the weapons. So they will be blue with some yellow and orange spots on them. It will be delightful.
Were those up on the screen?
Which?
Oh, the share? You could see them, right?
Yeah, I could up until just now.
Yeah, I turned them off.
Yep.
All right, so that's what we're doing this week.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go.
Our top story.
I don't know what our top story is. Is it new models?
I would actually argue that is what we just went through is more aptly our top story, because in trying to find a top story this week, the best thing that I can talk about is that a Sisters Army won GW Tampa, and no one freaking knows how, including many of the people who were there and lost to it. We'll get into it in more detail, but Colin and I have joked about some Sisters armies that have done well up until this point, and we look at them and we say we have no idea. Got into a few chats with people about the Sisters Army that won Tampa. They were like, I mean, obviously it's an amazing player. You look at the people he beat, but the list looks like this just sort of looks like, random something. Art of War, Nick did a video yesterday where expressed a similar level of confusion and an interest in interviewing the individual. But so all that to say, Sisters are amazing and play whatever the heck you want, because pretty much anything is viable, although play Eldar if you want to win events still.
Okay. So we should talk about new models, though.
Yes, that's in the what's new, though.
Okay. Well, then we'll move to what's new then.
What's new?
What's new, Pussycat?
I was waiting for that one. I look forward to that particular saying every week, and I don't know why. There are some. So we had a Warhammer Day this past weekend. Sort of a broad brush Warhammer Day, not really focused on anything. But the next two books are going to be Admech and Necrons. I'm sure they said which order it's going to be. I think it's Admech first and then Necrons.
Yeah, that's what they showed at least.
Okay. And Admech got Big Bird with a sniper rifle. I find that I end up defending a lot of GW's design decisions in terms of miniatures. This one's pretty freaking silly. What's the guy from BoJack Horseman, Mr. Man, the three people standing in the three little kids standing in a trench coat. This little dude is going to get memed to heck and gone.
I would totally kit bash 3 Skitarii standing on each other if I was going to play this model. Yeah. I would absolutely do that.
It's really silly looking.
It's terrible. I hate it. I think it is one of the worst models in all of 40K.
No,
because I don't want to look at the table and giggle. That's why.
I like joy in my life.
I already hate Admech because they make cool models. GW will be like, here's some really cool Admech models. And I'll be like, whoa, those are dope. And then 6 months later, they'll be like, here's more Admech models. These are from a completely different style that don't match the previous things we released. And I'll be like, So I think Admech is a mess. Artistically, stylistically, whatever the right word is. I think it's a mess. I think that their stuff doesn't go together. That's just my own opinion. Some of their stuff's super cool. I actually think that Call is one of the coolest character models in the game. So yeah, and I actually like the leggy chicken walkers. However, I think they look stupid too, but I enjoy them. It's like the baby walkers for Grey Knights. I'm like, this is dumb. Why do I like this? And it's the reason I like this because I watched Aliens, because I watched Aliens a lot when I was a kid. Is that the reason why I like the baby carrier?
Probably. I mean, I actually find that Admech is aesthetically cohesive enough. I mean, just broad touches, steampunk, futuristic steampunk. It works for me. And I will not say this is the dumbest miniature that they've ever released, because there's that like sisters lady who's just sort of standing in a T pose with a hammer. That's just really boring and looks like she's from like the 1990s of what they could do with miniatures. This is at least like a miniature that speaks to what they are capable of designing and putting into a mold. Like, it's very spindly. It's actually just something we couldn't have gotten before in a somewhat ridiculous form. Anyway, that's too much time on.
I look forward to the Circus sub-faction that Admech is almost certainly getting. Okay. So, but there were also Striking Scorpions.
Yes. So moving along to a different part, there's going to be a new Kill Team box. There will be new plastic Striking Scorpions at like Kill Team box level miniatures. So really good, cool sculpts. They come along with Space Marine Scouts. These are both, well, Scorpions, your mileage may vary, but it's new plastic Aspect Warriors. So every Eldar player is going to want to buy some of them. And the Scouts are going to be super useful for a lot of Marines. So this is going to be a good box.
I was looking at that box and all excited, and my excitement did go down just a little bit when I realized how many Scout bodies I own.
See, I don't.
I understand. What's that?
I own no Scout bodies that didn't come with a Land Speeder Storm.
Okay. Can I just give you 5 rather than you having to buy that box? I guess you're going to buy it anyways, so never mind. Scouts are great, but there's no reason to change the models. It's still 4 guys with a bolt gun and a dude with a heavy bolter, or you can do a sniper rifle and a heavy bolter. I think you can have both, but it's just not, whatever. Moving on. Yeah. I sound negative today, but I am not. 40K is greatly fun right now. I just played 40K last weekend. It was so fun. So no, game's still fun. Colin cranky. News at 11. All
right. Well, so more things that they announced. Necrons, as we said, the second book in order. They get apparently a new Imatech the Stormlord model is what they previewed. Literally every Necron character looks the exact same to me. I can't tell the difference because I've never really had to. They just sort of.
And this guy's model wasn't actually bad, in my opinion. His previous one.
And just really quickly, both on AdMech and Necrons, they gave us some previews of what detachment-ish rules are going to look like. The AdMech ones were all of the various infantry styles working together and helping each other, which is broadly in line with what they've done before. The Necrons one also broadly in line with what they've done before, but seemed like a little bit more interesting to me. Basically, the ability to bounce around between monoliths. We haven't seen monoliths on the board legitimately since like middle of 8th. And if they pull that off, that could be a third, or you own 3.
I've played 3 games against monoliths in 10th edition.
Okay, well then, cool. I stand corrected and know nothing about Necrons.
Well, no, come on. We know nothing about sisters.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay, shall we continue on?
Yeah, and then the last thing, if you want to buy the Rogue Trader book, the Rogue Trader book is being re-released.
The original first book?
Yeah, they're going to re-release it. If you want it for nostalgia purposes, spend $60. That game would not be fun. Just like unless you really want to play D&D with your 40K miniatures. That's what Rogue Trader was. Okay. Then.
Badly. If I had friends that wanted to come over once a week to do that, I would be all in. Okay.
That's all that's new.
All right, then. But Billy, I've got a question for you.
I've got you.
What's winning?
You see what I did there? I'm clever.
You just needed me to be talking so you could do the pre-roll over me?
No, I said what I said. Never mind. It doesn't matter.
I see there's also that, but we have many inside jokes that might only be in my head on this show.
Yes. Okay, here we go. Got 7 events we're going to cover this week. First of all, let's just say, man, is 40K competitively cool right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's going to happen. Stat Check doesn't know what's going to happen. Art of War doesn't know what's going to happen. It's very exciting. And I don't think that the Marine Codex is broken. I don't think it's overpowered. I think it's quite good. Mm-hmm. I think there are several things you can do in that book that are very good. I do not know that any of them are wildly broken. And it's the same thing with the tournaments book. John Lennon won a tournament 2 weekends ago with it. It's quite good. It's not wildly broken. If this is the codexes we're going to get given, where there's multiple options for people to play it, and it's not so far out of scope that it ruins the meta the minute it comes out, we're looking at you, Drukhari, and Craftworld Eldar, and Tyranids in 9th edition, and AdMech, and Necrons.
Yeah.
Okay. There's probably more examples. There was a time where you just couldn't beat Necrons.
Yeah.
Anywho, I'm really excited about that. So as we dive in, I don't think any of these tournaments will be New Space Marine Codex because it came out this weekend, just to remind everybody. Okay. So first up, we have the U.S. Open Tampa, Florida, 291 players, 8 rounds. There was a shadow round that got down to the top 4 at the end of Saturday. That's the way that Games Workshop does it. The tournament was, in fact, won by Jeffrey Kolodner, which it sounds like people don't know who Jeffrey is. I'm sure Jeffrey's friends do. So Jeffrey's got a Magifier, Junith, Morgan, Palatine, St. Nuria the Reforged. Oh, that's St. Celestine. These are custom names, excuse me. 3 units of Battle Sisters. I thought there was just a Sisters unit I'd never heard of, Billy. I literally thought that's what was happening.
He named every single unit in his army list.
Yeah. 3 units of Battle Sisters. 2 Immolators, Retributor Squad. This was a lot easier to read last night for some reason. 2 Castigators, 2 Mortifiers, a unit of 3 Paragon Warsuits, 5 Seraphim, 10 Sister Novitiates, 2 Death Cult Assassins, and a Calidus Assassin whose name is Madeline.
Okay.
I don't know, man. That's a Sisters list, and it wrecked people.
It's got a bunch of good stuff in it. Like, it's the best data sheets in the book, and it's a wide smattering of things and tools. So if you know how to use it.
He didn't have a lot of 90 point or over wins. He went 75, 100, 99, 68. So his first 4, and then 83, 70, 93, 58. So, he played close games is what that makes me guess. Okay. Next up, we've got Quentin Johnson from The Art of War, incredibly good Eldar player. This is the only Eldar I think I'm talking about. Maybe that's wrong. Autarch Great Leaper, Avatar, Farseer, Skyrunner, Spirit Seer. 3 Night Spinners. Then he's got 1 unit of Shadow Specters, 1 unit of Sweeping Hawks, 1 Warwalker, 1 unit of Warp Spiders, and then 10 Wraithguard. On GW Train, Wraithguard are wildly broken because you can put them behind one of the big pieces of train in the middle of the table. You can move them out and shoot, and then Phantasm back or Fire and Fade back, whatever you're feeling like. So, extremely good. That's an Eldar list that will wreck things. Eldar still good. No reason to talk about that in any more detail. 3rd place is Jack Harpster, former ITC champion, I think, from last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
A great guy, too. I know Jack. Let's see. He played World Eaters. His list is called I Miss Blood Angels. He's got Angron, Lord, Invocatus, World Eater Lord on Juggernaut. I love that guy's getting played with because I love the dudes riding the Juggernauts. It's one of my favorite things. World Eater's Master of Executions. Then a unit of Jackals, a unit of Khorne Berserkers, a Rhino, 1, 2, 3, 4 units of 8 bound.
Some of those Exalted 8 bound? You can only have
3 units of Exalted 8 bound, 1 unit of 8 bound. And then 2 units of 2 Chaos Spawn, I presume, to stand on things that do missions. This is a list that comes at your face and smashes you, if anybody's wondering how this list works.
Yeah, it's very similar to what Anthony took to LGT.
Yeah, it's very Blood Angels, actually. Yeah. Next up, we've got Nick Herring from Cigar City Gaming, and he is playing Chaos Space Marines, and he's got 3 Chaos Lords. Those are to go with his Chosen. 1 unit of Cultists, 2 Rhinos, 2 units of 10 Chosen, a unit of 20 Chosen, 2 Forge Fiends. Excuse me?
Chosen come in 10s and 5s, not 20s and 10s.
Excuse me, 5s and 10s. I'm a little out of it this morning. 2 Forge Fiends, 2 units of Obliterators, 2 units of Warp Talons, Nurglings, Celeste, and the Blue Scribes. The Blue Scribes are super dope, by the way, for 65 points. Hilarious.
Yeah.
So the game I played against Chuck last weekend, that dude walked up onto an objective and just like low-key threw 6 mortals on my Land Raider.
Oh, okay. There were some 6s involved in that, but yes.
Well, you can roll 6s sometimes. This list is cool. You can put the Chaos Lord with the 10 Chosen and put them in a Rhino, and they jump out of that Rhino and just obliterate things. I love it. So this is quite good. Chaos is winning a lot right now. Obliterators are very good. This is much in line with what we're seeing.
Yeah,
Congrats to Nick Herring.
Yeah, both 3rd and 4th place were basically taking LGT lists with minor ports.
Right. And then 5th place was Ben McJurk. And I'll just comment that he took Fugan, and other than that, there's nothing in here we really need to talk about. Okay. So that is the U.S. Open Tampa. 6th place, Imperial Fists, then Tyranids, then Imperial Knights, then Ultramarines, then Black Templars. So a lot of variety. Our good friend John Lennon is in 11th with Tyranids. He had a pretty rough go pairings-wise. And then, there's a Colin down here at 19. There's another Colin down here at 22. Okay, moving on.
At best in Colin. This RTT is going to help with that.
No, I don't think so. Next up is a tournament that I have won before. How's that?
Not a sentence I can say about anything.
It's Kipper's Melee. It's the first largest tournament that I won. I don't know how that makes sense. It was 60-something people, and I never won anything that big before. So great memory. That's the tournament I won. I met JT McDowell at, who's one of my favorite humans on the planet. This tournament was won by Orcs, Jordan Salomon. By the way, for the most part, Kippers is not really near me. It's extremely hard for me to get to. This is a big tournament of Canadians. There's very few Americans at this tournament, and there's a lot of people I don't know here. So this is a bit of a different meta. These aren't, for the most part, the people that come down to Washington to play the rest of us. So just an interesting note that these are, this is kind of a different meta that we're looking at here. All right, so he was won by Jordan Salomon. Jordan was playing Orcs. Without even looking at it, I can kind of tell you what's already going to be in it, but let's look. Beast Boss on Squigosaur, Bedrock, Scragbad, Knob on Squaship Squid, Weird Boy, 2 units of Beast Snagas, 4 trucks, a unit of Deft Kappas, a unit of Flash Gits to go with Bedrock, obviously, probably in a truck, 2 units of Gretchen, 2 units of Squig Hog Boys, and 2 units of Storm Boys. So it works. See, here's the thing about orcs. They put extreme pressure on you, just extreme pressure, and they beat you up good. But the thing is that they score missions really well while they're doing it.
Yeah.
So, second place at Kipper's Melee is my great friend and a wonderful human being, Donald Plummer. Donald is just an amazing opponent, even if you're wrecking him, which doesn't happen very often because Donald's extremely good. But even if you're wrecking him, he has the world's most amazing attitude at the table. So big shout out to Donald. He's a Charity Hammer alum as well. Donald took Tau, his favorite army. I think Tau are better than they're getting credit right now. I think that they're extremely good. Fragile, very much a glass cannon, but quite good. Kedri Fireblade, Commander Farsight, Commander Shadowsun, and then 2 Cold Stars, both with ion blasters. Unit of 10 Breachers, a Devilfish, I suspect 4 of those Breachers, 2 units of Crisis Battlesuits, the guys who blow the crap out of you while killing themselves, which is great fun. Ghost Keel, Kroot to do things, Piranhas, which are incredible right now for their points. Really good shooting, really fast. They're 55 points. A Skyray Gunship, a Stealth Battlesuit unit, and then 2 Tetras. Tetras are basically required because of how good their buffs are. Sorry that they're Forge World, everybody. Third place is Brendan McKenzie, also playing Sisters, unless he just didn't put his faction in. Yeah, these are Sisters. Palatine, Dialogus, Battle Sister Squad, Triumph, Sisters, Novitiates, 2 units of 10, 1 unit of 3 Archoflagellants, 3 units of 2 Crusaders for 25 points to, I presume, do things. 3x5 Seraphim, 3 Immolators, 4 Rhinos, a Calidus, and an Eversword. So these are the things that score points well if I play Sisters, and then I've got some good close combat, is what that is.
Yeah. A lot of transports, it sounded like, in there, too.
4 Rhinos.
Yeah.
Next up, we have ourselves a Gladius Detachment Dark Angels list. Always something I enjoy is the Dark Angels. Ryan Burns. Ryan Burns is from Mid-Table Tactics, which is just a team whose name I enjoy. Apothe Biologus with Bolter Discipline. That means he's with the aggressors shooting the crap out of things. Azrael to give some unit a 4 Binvil and give you a CP each turn. Captain Terminator Armor to go with the Deathwing Knights that we haven't gotten to yet. Aggressors, Deathwing Knights. So the aggressors go with that Apothecary. The Deathwing Knights go with the Captain to get them reroll charges and advances, and also the ability to get a free strat for our AOC. 10 Hellblasters. I love Hellblasters. I think they're really cool how they shoot when they die. Unfortunately, they're just way more expensive than the other shooting options. I don't tend to take them. 2 units of Plasma Set, or 1 unit of Bolter Scepters, 1 unit of Plasma Scepters. Those are the guys who drop in to do things and shoot stuff. 2 units of Infiltrators, a Predator Destructor, which is kind of fun, a Whirlwind, and a Calidus Assassin. Really, really neat Dark Angels list. I play with transports in my Dark Angels list, so this was really interesting to me. But yeah, really fantastic. Really, really neat. Good job to Ryan Burns. 5th place was Chris Powell with Chaos Demons. Because it's Chaos Demons, I'm going to look at it.
Guessing big bugs.
What's that?
Guessing big bugs.
He's got 6 Demon Princes of different varieties.
Oh, wow.
2 units of 3 Nurglings, 1 unit of 10 Plague Bearers, 3 individual Beasts of Nurgle, 3 units of 3 units of 3 Screamers, and a Skull Cannon.
Okay. Demon
I don't
Princes,
know.
not the big bugs.
I don't know. Those, I'm pretty sure those Demon Princes don't get Lone Operative or anything, so...
No, they're like Dreadnoughts. Think of them like good Dreadnoughts.
All right, fair enough. I got no comeback to that.
Yeah.
Banana Pants. Okay. Third place is Fantasia Fanatic, Roman numerals, 40K. Vasterbottens, what?
It's 44.
Thank you. Vasterbottens, Sweden.
Mm-hmm.
We have decided that Vasterbottens translate to big butts, vast butts. That's what Billy and I decided.
Yes.
If you're from Vasterbottens and that offended you, I apologize. It was funny. Okay. And this tournament is the one that points out that I was lying, and I am going to talk about Eldar. I forgot about this one when I looked at it last night. So Eldari, Tau, Knights, Chaos Knights. All right. So first up is Axel. Axel Ryden. I don't know Axel. I'm sorry. Axel's got himself some Eldar. He has double avatar, so he's got the Incarn and the Avatar. He's got an Autarch and a Farseer. He's got a Hornet, which is fun. We don't see those very often. 2 Night Spinners, 2 units of Shadow Specters, 3 Warwalkers, and Warp Spiders. Woo! Interesting and exciting. Congrats to you, Axel. It's hard to win a tournament, even if you take really broken thing that is not a new list idea. You shouldn't have to take a new list idea. It's fine. Axel did great. I'm saying that this is not a new thing.
Double avatar is the coolest way to do Eldar, though.
That's the way I would do it if I was just trying to have fun. Pedro Chavez. Pedro has Fugan and Illic. Autarch, Wayleaper, Farseer, Spirit Seer. Rangers, Shadow Specters, 3x5 Warp Spiders, a unit of Wraith Guard, 2 Night Spinners, and 2 Warwalkers. Pretty standard, really good Eldar list. Third place is Magnus Forslund, and he was playing Tau. Let's see how similar it was to Donald's list. He's got Commando Shadow Sun, and then 2 commanders in cold suits with Sibs. 1 unit of broadsides, 2 big units of crisis. Actually, 1 big unit of 6 crisis, and then 1 unit of 3 crisis. 2 Ghost Keel battle suits, a Hammerhead, 2x10 Kroots, 2 Kroot Riders, Pathfinders, Piranhas, Stealth battle suits, and Tetras. So again, basically the things you expect to see. Tau is doing what Tau does, scoring points while shooting you. The things that Donald and this person are taking are the fast guns with the things to make them efficient. Fourth place is Bjorn Eriksson. Kind of bummed that Bjorn was not playing Space Wolves, but will be okay. Bjorn was playing Knights, and he's got Canis. Now, his list is called Orkiel Knots, which makes me wonder if this is a kit-bashed Orc Knights army.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
And if it is, could people please get us pictures? Okay, Canis Rex, Knight Castellan, 1, 2 Armigers, 1, 2, 3 Warglaves, Calidus, Inquisitor Codiez, and 4 Inquisitorial Henchmen. It looks like Codiez is with his henchmen. That's pretty neat. He's got Vect, so that's kind of cool. The Calidus obviously is one of the best tools in the game for points. And then he's got 1, 2, 3, 2 big knights and 5 little knights. Pretty neat list.
Yeah. Putting the Inquisitor with the henchmen also turns them into infiltrators.
Yeah. It's not the one that makes them unable to be shot from far away, though. That's the other Inquisitor.
Yeah.
Daniel Turcha got 5th with Chaos Knights. 6th is also Chaos Knights, then Astra Militarum, AdMech, Imperial Knights, and AdMech, and Astra Militarum. So, again, a great demonstration that nobody knows what the meta is.
Yeah.
Right?
The meta is the fun toys that you want to bring that are competitively assembled, but your faction choices are your own.
JT McDowell got 9th at Kippers. I wanted to shout that out. Tower extremely skill expressive right now, and Donald's really good. I think that's fair. Josh Begwell wants us to know that the mid-table tactics people do a really good battle reps. So I didn't know that, so great shout out to them. Well, Billy, those are my 3 tournaments. You have 19 minutes to talk about your 4.
I'm swimming in time. I don't know what to do with myself.
Man, Swimming in Time is an amazing name for an album.
Yeah.
It's not as good of a name for a band. We would need a different name for our band.
That's fair. I'm very bad at naming things. Haven't tried it in the past.
I'll come up with a band name as we continue on. Go ahead.
Perfectly fair. The Gem City GT 2023 in Dayton, Ohio. 69 players. Nice 5 rounds. Won by Folger Piles. Folger, you have a phenomenal name. both first and last name. I love
Do you
it.
think he defeated them with crystals? Folger's crystals, if you will?
Or Private Pile. There's options on both ends of this. But
Okay.
Folger, I'm sure you're a wonderful person. You brought Eldar, Wayleaper, Farseer, Fugan, Spirit Seer, Incarn, 1 Night Spinner, 5 Specters, 5 Hawks, 3 Warwalkers, 2 5 Spiders, and the 10 Wraith Guard. Pick your sturdy center brick, pick your scoring units, pick whatever holes you want to bring. Fugan seeing more play just because he's a little annoying to kill and actually can sort of slap in melee as far as Eldar go. You got Brad Chester in second place with Orcs.
I hear he's
very
kind of good.
What?
I hear he's
kinda
pretty good.
Yeah, he's pretty good, but came in second place. So good job to Folger for first place. Brad brought Badrock, Mozrog, a Knob on a Pig, a Pain Boy, a War Boss, 3 Trucks, 10 Flash Goods, 20 Gretchen, 20 Knobs, 633 of Pigs, 555 of Storm Boys. To your point, just massive pressure, stuff to score points in the back.
Yeah. And Orcs have this particular set of data sheets. Actually, everybody does at this point. Tenth has been out long enough.
Yeah.
Eldar as well. And so all of these lists are like, these things are mandatory. These or Orcs in particular. Orcs is like, this 1,000 points is the same. And then take whatever of the selected good data sheets, take whatever you like. It's not that there's some nuanced strategy, that some gimmick or combo it's doing. It's just these are really good data sheets that function really well independently, and so they can play the mission and smash it to you at the same time.
Yeah. Zachary Morales, third place with the Black Templar list that really I enjoy because it's very similar to what I'm doing. Castellan, Grimaldus, Helbrecht, Judiciar, 2 20-man Primaris Crusader units, 2 Lancers, because he wanted the multi-melter rather than the cheaper points of a Ballistus. 5 Inceptors, a Land Raider Redeemer to carry the 10 Sword Bros, plus pick your character, probably Helbrecht, because Grimaldus and friends can't fit in there, and a Calidus Assassin. So again, to my point from way earlier in the show, Black Templars can do some things that other Marines can't. There are no other 20-man Marine body units that exist. 20 Marine bodies are a wonderful vehicle for buffs. One of those 20 Primaris Crusader units, average math is 54 AP 2 or 3 wounds on the hit roll into any target, plus whatever it does after that. The 10 Sword Bros with Helbrecht can do similarly horrific things. I'm personally picking dudes in jump packs rather than a
Just
Redeemer.
to be clear, we're presuming that all 20 32 millimeter bases were in combat.
Absolutely. It's totally
okay.
You do Magical Christmas Land when you talk about upper end math things, and in Magical Christmas Land, that's what happens. The neat thing that Black Templar can do that I actually really like is they're one of the few things that have the no fallback strat still. It's on a 3+ if you really need it, 4+ otherwise, but it's that's a tool that will swing a bunch of matchups in fun and interesting ways. So anyway, good job, Zachary. I hope to continue your dominance of X and 1 at my much less challenging tournament this weekend. Finally, we have Lyle Dixon with Tau in 4th place.
Not enough people are named Lyle. I just want to call that out.
Okay.
Continue on. It's just that I think it's a perfectly legitimate name that we don't use.
That's no notes.
So many Kyles. Could be more Lyles. Just saying.
Just all you Kyles, drop your K. 2 Cold Stars, 2 solo broadsides.
I'm going to tangent for something amusing. There's a really, really good football player on the Seahawks named Tyreek Hill. The Hills is not his last name. That's the other guy. What?
Tyreek Hill plays for Miami.
Yeah, wrong name. Anyways, his name's Tyreek, and I'm groggy and can't think of his last name right now. But he decided in the offseason that he would just go by Reek instead of Tyreek. And the host of my favorite sports radio program is rewatching Game of Thrones, and it's a real problem. It's a real problem. Every episode, he has a moment where he tangents in to talk about Game of Thrones. Nobody cares about that story but me and a couple Seahawks fans. I just thought I would share it.
Well, no, there's probably a decent amount of Game of Thrones fans who read the book and know what happens to Reek and know that that's not something that most men would voluntarily sign up for. So anyway, Lyle Dixon's list.
Woolen. I have it now. Tyreek Woolen is his name.
Okay. This is why books are important, and you should read, because sometimes you make mistakes. Lyle Dixon, 2 Cold Stars, 2 solo broadsides, 2 6-man suit units, 4 Crude Hounds, 3 Piranhas, 3 Skyray gunships, 2 3s of stealth suits, and 2 2s of Tetras. You can fit a lot of Tau into a Tau list. I would really hope there's good terrain on the board if I saw Lyle's army on the other side. But that's what we got on Gem City GT. Moving along to Medhammer GT in Medellin, Colombia. You ever been to Medellin, Colombia? It's a lovely and interesting city that is not entirely safe, but very enjoyable to wander around. It's in a giant
This
valley.
is Colombia, the country we're talking about?
Colombia, the country, yeah.
It had a 40K tournament this weekend.
Pablo Escobar's hometown had a 40K tournament.
Right. That's cool.
I've been there. I've been to Pablo Escobar's soccer stadium and cheered for the team that he used to fund. Interesting things. Won by Jorge George Latore, Jorge Latore, not sure. Eldari. So Eldari winning 2 of my events that we're talking about. Wayleaper, Death Jester Incarn, 2 Falcons, each of which hold 5 Fire Dragons, but no Fugan, which is an interesting decision on that one. 2 Night Spinners, 2 5s of Specters, 3 Shroud Runners, a Warwalker, 2 5s of Spiders. This is the sort of no center of my army, just run around, trade pieces, very efficient. Wonderful job, Jorge. Second place, Chaos Demons of Nicholas Francone. Be'lakor, Bloodthirster, Lord of Change, Shalaxi, Celeste, Changeling, 2 3s of Nurglings, 2 3s of Flamers, 5 Corn Dogs, 5 Seekers, big bugs, some scoring stuff around the outsides. Just glad to see Celeste getting their time in the sun because it's a really cool model. Esteban Alzate, Eldari in 3rd place. Wayleaper, Skyrunner, Spirit Seer, Incarn, 2 Fire Prisms, which you actually don't see as much anymore. 2 Night Spinners, a Solo Viper, 5 Spiders, 3 Cannon Wind Riders, and 10 Wraithguard. Similar sort of a thing. Eldar gonna Eldar. 4th place, we have Juan David Munoz Perez with Blood Angels in a Gladius Task Force, because Juan David Munoz Perez knows what's up. Mephiston, Dante, Judiciar, the Good Lieutenant, the lone operative guy. 10 Assault Intercessors, 5 regular Intercessors, a Ball Predator, 6 Blade Guard Vets, a Drop Pod, 3 Eradicators, 1 Lancer, 5 Incursors, 5 Infernus, a Redemptor, 5 Sangard, 5 Turnies. Picked the Blood Angels units they liked and put them on the table and went 4-1. Good job, Juan David. We've got the Pecking Order Turkey Wars GT in Olympia, Washington.
These are all people I know. I should pay attention.
Yeah, they know that Turkey is next month, right? This is Pumpkin Month.
Yes, that's accurate. But all of the pecking orders are bird related, and he tends to do the turkey related one in October. I don't know if he's Canadian.
Oh, okay, good point. Yeah, Canadian Thanksgiving is in October. This one by, wonderful human, longtime friend of the show, Steve Trimble with Chaos Space Marines.
Congrats, Steve.
He brought the LGT winning Chaos Space Marines list that we've talked about already. 3 Lords.
Oh, wow. One of the best player in the most accomplished player in the Pacific Northwest brought one of the most broken lists. Shocking.
A broken list whose main mode of operating is to run at you as fast as humanly possible, which, as we all know, when that is good, Steve is one of the best people to
Oh, did he did the Chosen version?
10-5-5 of Chosen and 3 Rhinos with the Lords. Literally, we talked about this list. It's a wonderful pressure list with a lot of mission playing tools. It's just great.
Oh, is it the same as the list we went over?
Yeah, it's literally 2 Force Fiends, 2 Obliterators, Talons, Nurglings, etc. Speaking of Black Templars, Max Schwarzer brought Black Templars.
Oh man, this is one of the most hyped people on the planet.
Yeah, but Max did it in a real interesting way.
Okay.
Max brought MSU Black Templars. So Grimaldus, Hellbrecht, and a Primaster's Apothecary. 6x5 regular Crusaders, which are just 65 points for 5 Marines that get rerolls to advance and charge. 10 regular Primaris Crusaders, 3 Rhinos, a Redeemer, 10 Sword Bros, and 2 Redemptor Dreadnoughts. So lots of dudes and lots of trucks running around that are all a little bit better than their points, other than the Sword Bros with Helbrecht, who just run over anything. So really good job by Max. Also 5-0. I would have been very curious to see a shadow round for like true best place. I actually think the Chaos Space Marine list is a little bit better, but moving along. Jason Bird, 3rd place with Chaos Knights. Bunch of dogs. 1 Stalker, 6 Brigands, 3 Carnivores, 30 Blue Horrors, and 2 Threes of Nurglings. I was actually surprised that you could fit 10 dogs and still have that many points left over for demons, but you did and you did. So good job to Jason. And then Jorge Alcantara with Eldar, Wayleaper, Avatar Farseer, and then just a whole bunch of Aspect Warriors, actually. 2 5s of Fire Dragons, 2 5s of Banshees, 2 5s of Shadow Specters, 3 5s of Warp Spiders, 2 5s of Rangers, 2 solo D cannons, 2 Warwalkers. Jorge did not get the memo that the old Aspect Warriors secondary doesn't exist anymore, and just wanted to keep playing that same army.
Actually, so for those that listen to Best in Faction, when I went to the Tacoma GW tournament, I played Jorge, and I talked at length about this game. Jorge plays MSU Eldar. He plays as many drops as he can typically. However, it sounded like he had double avatar, so that.
No. Just 1 avatar. This is like 30 units.
Yeah, he loves MSU. He plays it amazing. He almost got me, and I had a much better Eldar list when we played. Jorge's incredible. He plays the game extremely well. Wonderful opponent.
Yeah, there are 18 units in this army.
Yeah.
I would love to be able to play this army well, because there are a lot of units in there that I like. But I'm on Black Templars, so, Space Fascists, yay. Last event to talk about is the Denver 40K Fight Club October Open in Denver, Colorado, which was 63 players in 6 rounds, won by someone who's coming, Colin for your best in Colin K. Chaos Space Marines, close but not exactly the same as what we've been seeing, so let's go through it. 3 Lords that go with 3 5s of Chosen, the Dark Commune and their friends, the Dark Apostle, the cultists that are cool. Huron and a Master of Possession, 10 cultists, 5 legionnaires, 2 rhinos, 5 possessed, 2 5s of Warp Talons, 2 3s of Nurglings, Celeste, and the Blue Scribes. So Colin kept that Demons detachment, got rid of basically all of the shooting, and just wants to run at you and punch you. And there's a lot of good trade-up pieces there in Colin's army, so good job by Colin.
As for the best Colin competition, I am still intimidated by Colin Power.
That's best.
That is such a better name than mine that it still makes me uncomfortable and intimidated.
Yeah. After this weekend, I will take a look and see where I'm doing in Best Billy. There just aren't that many of them, and it looks like very few of them are regular GT attendees. So my diet of RTTs, I think I have a shot at second to Best in Billy.
Okay.
Joel Davis, 2nd place with Orcs. Again, relatively similar. Oh, no, this one's fun. So Beast Boss on Swig, Badrock, Mazrog, Nob on Pig, War Boss, which I spelled with 2 A's, which makes it funny. 1 Truck, 10 Flash Gits, 20 Gretchen, 10 Knobs, 6 and 3 Pigs, 5 Storm Boys. Where's the missing 400 points in this list? It's from a Gargantuan Squigoth.
Yes! Love it.
Colin was turned away, and I said Gargantuan Squigoth, and Colin just focused in on yes.
Colin's talking to someone who might have a job for Colin, so Colin decided to be distracted.
Colin should always be distracted by that, but Gargantuan Squigoths are sweet.
One of the coolest models they've ever made.
Yeah, I mean, I have a giant pig sitting next to me right here, but anytime I can see it on the table. The fact that I don't play pig-focused orcs is really a fault of mine. Cody Giroux, 3rd place with Eldar. Skyrunner Illic Yvrain. So this is a Inari list, and it's very much a Inari list. A Night Spinner, 10 Rangers, 10 Shadow Specters rather than 5s and 5s, 2 Skyweavers, a Warwalker, 2 5s of Spiders, and then here come the Dark Eldar half of it. 2 units of the following: 1 Beastmaster, 2 Chimera, and 3 Razor Wings, which I imagine are just sort of good, annoying utility pieces. 5 Mandrakes, 3 Ravagers, and 5 Scourges. Inari are very underexplored in my opinion. I don't think they are better than Eldar, but they are just as good, and they offer you a bunch of different ways to play the game. So good job by Cody for exploring there. And then Zach Kerstetter in fourth place, again with Eldari. This one, much more middle of the road. Wayleaper, Skyrunner Illic, Incarn, 2 Fire Prisms, 2 Hornets, a Night Spinner, 5 and 5 Rangers, 10 Spectres, 3 Shroud Runners, and 5 and 5 Spiders. Eldar is still very good. If you want to win an event, you're going to have to beat some Eldar near the top tables, but you can do it. Potentially with the LGT winning Chaos list is sort of what I'm taking from this week, and have a plan for orcs bum rushing you on turn 1 or 2.
Is that it?
That's all the news that's fit to print.
All right. So our band name could be called Trade Pieces. It's pretty good. Okay. But what I think it should be called is 5 Corn Dogs.
Okay. I like that. I'm more in the, Blue Oyster Cult kind of a just weird collection of words band name. So 5 Corn Dogs is closer. I want to have the opportunity to still workshop it, but that route.
4 Obliterators also is good.
Depends how many people are in our band.
Well, no, I think it's great if it's just the 2 of us and our name is 5 Corn Dogs. I think that's perfect.
Which one of us gets to eat the 3rd corn dog? Because we each get 2. And I get
Man,
that
I do not need 3 corn dogs. That's a ruining of my day. Especially if they're fair corn dogs where they like hand dip them and they're huge. If I eat 3 of those, it's going to be bad.
It'd be a bad day.
If you've got stomach problems, hot dogs are not on the this is a great idea list of food.
Corn dogs or hot dogs?
Hot dogs in general, but there's a hot dog inside of a corn dog in case you didn't understand the nuance.
So hot dogs are actually one of my favorite barbecue foods.
Oh yeah, hot dogs are delicious, but they're just hard on people's stomachs. That's all.
Yeah, I could do pretty well with hot dogs.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah.
Diced onions?
So depends on if I'm responsible for making it or if someone else is. If someone else is, I will load up a hot dog with just about everything. If it's just me, give me some Dijon mustard and some ketchup, and I can just be good. I'll pound like 6 to 10 of those fuckers.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that hot dogs are the food that mustard is more common for, which I think is weird. Sausage as well, but whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for coming to This Week in Food. He's Billy. I'm Colin because someone has to be. And we'll be back next Tuesday. Hey, guys, if you like what we're doing, please go support us. We could really use it. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.